What if Anakin Skywalker never got burned? Now, he was still sliced up and left for dead by Obi-Wan, but this time, Sidious would show up and see that only his limbs were missing. He would not be as disappointed. He would still recognize Anakin's potential. Anakin would be outfitted with prosthetics. That is until Sidious has Anakin's limbs cloned and reattached. Now calling himself Vader and is fully healed, Vader would be kept busy hunting down the remaining Jedi. Vader would be obsessed with Obi-Wan. Sidious, concerned with Vader's obsession with Obi-Wan, would pull him back and instead task Vader in training the new Inquisitors to do the Jedi hunting. Now Vader is more confident and far more aggressive. He is not distracted with the constant pain and tinkering he had to deal with his suit. He would be offended at the thought of relying on inferior force wielders like Inquisitors to do his job. And when he is introduced to the Inquisitors, Vader will cut down through them just like he did with the younglings. Sidious would be enraged. Anakin Skywalker, now calling himself Vader, would be obsessed with finding Obi-Wan, but not just for revenge, but also to find Padme. You see, Padme didn't die in childbirth. She lived along with her children. She refused to have them separated, so instead she went into hiding with Obi-Wan. Now after Vader made easy work of the Inquisitors, Sidious would start to fear Vader's power. Darth Vader would be sent to the planet of Kashyyyk, where he is sent to stomp out a Wookiee uprising, and there would be also rumors of a Jedi living there. Now when Vader lands, of course his legion goes first, but Vader is impatient. Vader would enter the battlefield and cut down anything in his way, including his own troops. Vader would be so violent that the Wookiees would literally see him as a demon. The Wookiees' valor would be shaken by Vader's Sith screams, with some even running away. But Vader would use the Force and crush their legs. They would begin to crawl and scream in agony. That is until Vader silences their screams with his saber. Vader would reach the hut where the Jedi is said to live, and that Jedi is named Kento Merrick. Vader would enter the hut and find that Mandalorians in red armor were there. They were there helping Kento and his son escape. Vader would approach Kento ready to strike him down, but would then be attacked by swarming Mandalorians on jetpacks. That is until Vader would focus his rage and unleash a force push so powerful it would destroy their jetpacks and crush their bones in the process. Vader would then charge at the Jedi and his son, but he was already being escorted out by the remaining Mandalorian forces. And as Vader draws near, one of the Mandalorians would say goodbye to her brethren and activate a thermal detonator. She would grip it tightly in her hand as she runs towards Vader. Vader would sense the attack, and he would use the Force to crush her hand, causing the detonator to go off. Now Vader would get knocked back, and by the time he is able to step over the flames, he would notice that Kento was gone on board a Mandalorian ship. Vader would try to grab it with the Force, but it was just too far. Now on board the ship, Kento would thank the Mandalorians for their help and ask them if they were headed towards Mandalore. They would tell him that no, they are headed to rendezvous with their master on Dathomir. Kento and his son Galen would arrive on Dathomir, and immediately Kento would sense the dark side and know something was wrong. The ship doors would open, and Kento and his son would be brought face to face with none other than Maul. Maul's attention would gravitate towards Kento's son and immediately sense just how strong he is in the Force. Maul would order the Mandalorians to take the boy. Kento would resist and light up his lightsaber. He would fight off the Mandalorians, keeping his son away from them. Then Kento would turn around and tell Galen to run, and that's when Maul would thrust his saber into Kento. Galen would scream out in horror and begin to run away, but a Mandalorian would grab his arm and try and restrain him. Out of pure instinct, Galen would use the Force and push the Mandalorian away, crushing his chest. Maul would then approach the boy and use the Force to cause him to pass out. Now while this is going on, Darth Vader arrives on Mandalore to investigate the connection between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. Subscribe for part 2.